The 7 million people of the San Francisco Bay need a new bridge, and they need it now. Hundreds of workers are scrambling to replace the Bay Bridge.
Make sure this happens.
One of the busiest bridges in America, and a seismic disaster waiting to happen. Earthquake damaged once, when the big one hits, there's a good chance this antique erector set will crack and crumble down to the bottom of the bay. A radical new construction scheme has the workers tied in knots.
This ain't my whole design.
This is one deadline they can't afford to miss.
All our grandkids will be able to say, and my grandfather worked on that bridge.
That thing's gonna be there forever.
Building the impossible, an earthquake-proof bridge, right now on Extreme Engineering. Now rising just alongside the 68-year-old eastern span of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, the biggest transportation project in California history. In the year 2010, the planners say the new Bay Bridge will be ready to carry its first passengers. When it does, the old Bay Bridge will be torn down. Right now, all the action is on the waterline. Under construction are the 28 bridge piers that will support the roadway above. The hours are long and the work is dangerous. Every day, the risks are faced by the members of 3 separate bridge-building crews. The pile drivers, who will pound 160 massive steel support columns 300 feet down into the bay. The welders, who will work in 200-degree temperatures with arc lights bright enough to cause blindness. And the iron workers, wrestling thousands of steel rods into giant cages that will give the bridge the strength to survive an earthquake.
Board, watch that board right there, Javier.
Only after the pile is driven, the welds are made, the rebar is up, and the concrete is poured can the road work above begin. The pier story starts in the iron yard. Warren Moldovan never moves slowly. 30 years into his career, he's the new Bay Bridge project's head iron worker.
Got lots of things to do at once.
Warren is responsible for all the record-setting 120 million pounds of reinforced steel, rebar. Never has so much rebar been built into a bridge, and the iron workers have to put it all together by hand.
Every aspect of the job is almost a new engineering marvel for everybody. Our trade, it's not so much being real smart, it's more being mechanically inclined, because it's like putting puzzles together.
For the last 3 weeks, Warren's team of 10 has been hard at work creating a 260-ton rebar cage. The purple plastic wrap is Rodbuster code for the highest grade of waterproofing. For this single rebar cage, 15,000 steel rods have to be hand-tied together. One twist, one knot at a time. They call it rod busting, and it's back-breaking work.
An iron worker, if he can go 10 years without hurting his back, he's probably pretty lucky. I have 2 sons that work on this job with me, which I'm real proud of. My youngest son, Corey, he's an apprentice. Shane, he's my second youngest. He is a foreman out here. He started here as a journeyman. He became a foreman in probably 5 months out here.
Warren depends on Shane. He's his go-to guy.
I'm in control of everything that's going on out here, making sure all the rigging is adequate. It's checked for safety, and everything goes as planned. It's all safe, ready to go, no problems.
Where's Corey at?
Little brother does what apprentices do best.
My job is to clean up and help Shane. Everybody's
He's not our he's just like the extra hand.
Today the crew will begin to assemble the pieces of the rebar cage. just one of 3 that goes into a support pier. They have 2 days to hoist a pair of rebar walls along with 4 cylindrical columns. Held together with only wire, these sections will make a massive 260-ton rebar cage that will then be placed out on the water.
And then double check all the rigging, right?
If they can get it off the ground in one piece. Each Bay Bridge pier wall weighs 28 tons, heavier than any rebar wall the crew has ever lifted. Warren had to design a custom-built system of rigging cables to get it into the air safely.
Okay, make sure these things don't get hung up, too, when we're coming up, right?
The biggest problem is keeping the wall straight as it rises. The rebar is strong, but without concrete to fill it, it's a 1,000-piece skeleton without the flesh. Everybody pitches in to make sure that Warren's system of cables connecting to the cranes is right. Even Foreman Shane.
Oh, you mother...
The 2 crane operators will have to hoist in unison. If the red crane driver Jeff zigs, when gray crane driver Rod zags, they will tear the wall to pieces.
Pretty close.
They keep in constant contact. Everybody waits for Shane to make the call to start the lift.
Hi. Up easy.
A little settling is normal. But if the rigging's not right, the whole wall will twist and buckle. And all that weight will come crashing down.
I'm not liking that at all. Leave it hang right here for a minute, Shane.
3 feet up is all they'll risk. This is their last chance to spot trouble. Once the wall goes up, there's no bringing it back down. Shane sees something.
Over here, look, right there in front of you. On the wing.
He moves in for a closer look.
Hey, we got one ball.
Fortunately, it's only a spare piece of rebar left in the wrong spot. So Shane resumes the lift.
Together coming up.
Yeah, you're at 54.
Even the crew can get mesmerized by the sight of the 5-story tower going up.
Make sure everybody's watching, nothing comes sliding out from inside it.
From this height, even a single falling bar could kill a man instantly.
It's all right, it'll come to the inside. You're about 4 foot off the ground. Now right there's where you can trip it, it ain't gonna make it.
15 minutes later, Wall 1 stands tall in the breeze, balanced on end, held in place only by the gray crane and Warren's rigging. It's time for the Cowboys of the Sky. "65 feet up, they untie Warren's canvas straps and free the wall from the red crane. Now it's Rod's turn. His gray crane lifts the wall straight up and swings it out onto the assembly barge. Shane's on the scene to pass the 28-ton wall along to Rick Robles, the barge wrangler.
It's all yours. Keep it like that. That's the way it's got to go in.
He's got to set it down within an inch of the landing spot, next to the steel template that holds the cage in place. The rest of the crew gets into position, climbing upstairs inside the template.
Good enough. Get our chain bolt on.
With the wall finally in place, the rod busters lash it on to the steel template. Warren's son Corey knows what happens when his father gets behind schedule.
What's that? Watch your finger.
Working for my dad is pretty nerve-wracking sometimes. You gotta move fast, be quick.
It's a whole lot easier for you to holler at your kids than it is to holler at another man, same age. And I guess that's just normal, right?
Well, I mean, help them. Work with them.
By the time the second pier wall has been placed, there's only 1 hour left in the day's shift. But Warren is determined to squeeze out one more job, preparing the walls for the columns to come.
Hey, Rick, see how we did this?
Warren remembers the last time they tried it. Rick Robles' crew rigged the wrong side of the wall first. Warren didn't like that.
In the morning, we sat till 10:30 before we lifted the column because that side was ready, but this side wasn't. So this side has to be done first no matter what. If it takes everybody here, we got to bring Shane off the dock. He's not doing nothing. He can come out here. He can go to work too.
When Warren cracks the whip, there's nothing much to do but hop to it.
Get over and get set to pick this up.
The barge workers and half of Warren's crew, including sons Corey and Shane, stay 2 hours extra to rig the wall for the massive columns to come. Maybe it wasn't the perfect day, but Warren will take it.
It's just another day.
Meanwhile, out on the water, the pile butts speak softly.
Can't is not an acceptable word.
And carry a really big stick. It's not famous like its glamorous neighbor, the Golden Gate. But the Bay Bridge is the workhorse. 280,000 cars cross it every day. It's one of the busiest bridges in America. If traffic can't cross the Bay Bridge, Northern California comes to a standstill, as the world discovered on October 17, 1989. A 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck the Bay Area just as the Oakland A's and the San Francisco Giants were about to begin Game 3 of the Baseball World Series. An upper deck road section of the Bay Bridge collapsed.
Wrong direction, there's another car. God!
Sending 2 cars crashing to the road deck below. 1 driver was killed, and traffic was shut down for the next 30 days. With another major quake due within 20 years, the state of California quickly decided to tear down the old span as soon as a replacement could be built. The new bridge will be slung low and sleek across the water. A double ribbon of concrete that will climax with a single suspension tower and give Oakland an eye-grabbing landmark to compete with the Golden Gate. But right now, the focus is on the base. Building support piers that can shake, rattle, and roll their way through a California earthquake. That means 28 piers set 175 yards apart and 160 of some of the biggest, deepest support piles ever driven. It means employing the General, the biggest floating crane on the West Coast, full-time. And to run it, a rough, tough, smart, and fast crew of 7 ballerinas. These are the pile butts. Their construction company, KFM, mandates the stretching time each day. And these men of California steel understand that the way to last is to keep things loose.
Roll those up here, makes you look taller.
Gordy Crocker leads the pile butt team.
Go down there and Roy's going to show you how to do that. Tell me if they're going to fit. If they're not going to fit, then I got to clean out the weld on the...
Gordy is a third-generation pile driver who has only lately made the jump from line guy to team leader.
I haven't been a foreman for very many years. I've been doing this for about 25 years, and this is only about the fourth or fifth foreman job. I can't physically do the things some of these other younger guys can. When you can't do it anymore, you become a foreman.
The pile driving starts with the men pounding a 150-foot length of pipe into the soft mud that lines the San Francisco Bay. A second pipe is fitted on top, welded to make a double-length pile, and then pounded even deeper to a total depth of more than 300 feet. 5 more piles sunk at precise angles will create a double tripod of support for the roadway above. The men hope it will stand up to the big one.
Everybody wants to be on the big job. Right now, this is the big job. It's construction work. This is just a larger scale. You know, we all drive pile. This is just a big pile.
Today, Gordy and the crew on the General are sidled up right in between the coffer box that will hold pier number 6 and a barge that holds the pile sections. The pile sections are massive steel tubes, 150 feet long, 8 feet in diameter, 220 tons each. Put 2 of them together, and you've got a single support pile. These are some of the deepest piles ever driven for a bridge. How to hoist these babies? Carefully.
Touch boom down, Tim.
Crane operator Tim Lassiter gets the job going by lowering a custom-built 10-foot rigging beam. It takes 3 pile butts to wrestle it into place and pin it closed.
Pin. Okay, we got it.
Roy Herder's point man on this launch.
As soon as Keith gets to the other end, can we loft this?
A year and a half into the project, the pile butts have swung 94 piles into the sky, but they still watch close every time.
If there was failure and that thing was to come back down, I don't know what it would do. I'm jumping in the water.
Tim swings the pile from the barge it was lying on to the deck of the General. There, the guys spin the tube around so the custom-built rigging beam is lined up for the next step. That's Chris Puglisi trying to hold back 220 tons of steel. Good luck, Chris. With a little help from the crane, he does it.
Get the hell out of here.
Time to hop the gangplank off the General and onto the waiting cofferdam. A cofferdam is a 75-foot square hole in the bay with all the water removed. Well, almost all the water. The cofferdam comes equipped with preset holes for the piles to slide in at just the right angle. Gordy's got the catbird seat, 10 feet below the waterline and right in the middle of the action.
Okay, Roy, watch I don't bump anything on the backside.
Back up in the crane cap, Tim drops the steel tube toward the template hole. The template is equipped with hydraulic gates and arms that grab the pile and set it to a precisely calculated angle. or at least get them close. The last few inches have to be done by hand.
Another half? Can I get another half out of here?
1 more inch right there.
1 more in?
Yep.
All right.
Gordy's on a tight schedule.
You done messing? I'm gonna throw an inch in here and we'll be done.
He's got to drive 3 piles today.
No, I want an inch. Now.
It's nearly lunchtime, and he's barely done with 1.
Okay, we'll cut you loose. Makes for long days.
It's lunchtime, but there's no wandering off to San Francisco for crab cakes and Chardonnay. When you work on the General, you stay on the General. The guys seem relaxed, but Gordy's doing a slow burn. And here comes trouble. Dave Nielsen, pile driving superintendent, and Gordy's demanding boss. He's come by to remind the guys how important it is to keep the grueling schedule he's set. He's got a way of getting under Gordy's skin.
When things are not going right, Dave shows up. Dave's not a good thing when Dave's out here. You know, we do the best we can do, and the option, if he doesn't like what we do, is to get somebody else to do it. That's the way it is in construction.
Dave's come and gone, and the guys are still feeling good. A little too good for Gordy, who's only trying to make Dave happy.
Hey. Okay. You want to do this the right way, or you want to go work for one? I'm in no mood, okay? I got Dave in my deep right now to get some things done. Okay, now we want to quit around now and get this squared away. You got it? Does everybody got it? Do I have to say it again, or are we done now? Okay, the procedure is to go over JHA and we're gonna do it. Does anybody have a problem with that? Okay, so I'm about paranoid. You guys all know how I freak out when don't start going right. Okay, so I'm freaking out right now, so we're gonna calm down and make this all work like it's supposed to work. Okay, so we're gonna work like a bunch of professional pile butts out here and do what we gotta do, and if the TV camera is gonna mess with that, then the TV camera is gonna go away.
Let's just maybe give Gordy a little time to cool down, shall we? Lunch is over on the New Bay Bridge, and pile butt foreman Gordy Crocker is back in control and ready to pound the pile into the bay, if even one of the General's 90-ton hammers holds up.
Okay, Tim.
The hammer's power is hidden inside the 55-foot yellow steel shell. A gigantic hydraulic piston fits snugly over the pile end. At the touch of a crane operator's button, the 90-ton hammer slams down on the pile with 1.2 million foot-pounds of pressure. That's like 15 fully loaded 18-wheel trucks hitting a brick wall simultaneously at 40 miles an hour. Oh yeah, that's a lot of force. All day, for 3 miles around, everyone can hear the mechanical heartbeat of the bridge. Up close, the noise is deafening, literally. The pile drivers are required to wear 2 layers of ear protection, earplugs and high-tech earmuffs. But hearing loss remains an occupational hazard. After 25 years in the trade, Gordy has lost half his hearing. 3,200 deafening blows later, the first pile of the day is finally in. Gordy will keep his crew at it till 8 p.m. Another 14-hour day on the Bay Bridge. Good for the bank account, brutal on the mind and body. While Gordy drives pile, back in the rebar yard, the ironworkers are scrambling up on their newly built walls, rigging the corners before even more rebar gets added. But everything's going to stop for an important visitor who is a reminder of the everyday danger of this work.
Joe! Yeah! Get to work!
Rod-busting brother Scott Thornton back on the job site for the first time since a horrendous accident 9 months ago.
Same old How you doing,
Scott's fingers were ripped right off his hand when a rope he was holding suddenly cinched tight.
How you doing, boss? I looked up at my hand and everything was gone to right there, all the way across, and there's just tattered flesh and meat and a bone sticking out.
We'll get you back to work.
Warren Moldovan, the superintendent who seems to be everywhere at once, was on the scene to help.
Warren, he gathered up my fingers and packaged them up good and proper, you know, and EMTs told me that on the way to the hospital when they unwrapped my fingers that whoever gathered up my fingers, they did an excellent job. I was really fortunate.
Scott's endured dozens of surgeries. The last removed one toe from each of his feet and attached them to his hand.
Wow. Still at it, huh?
Yeah. What's up? Oh,
that's all right.
I don't want to squeeze too hard.
It's getting better. Yeah, don't squeeze it. I've never fit in anywhere in my life like I fit in here with these guys and doing this kind of work. These guys are going to really feel ashamed when I come out here and tie faster with my toes than they do with their fingers. That's really going to be bad.
Maybe it's the shared danger that turns the crew from workers to family. They need each other to stay safe, to stay alive.
I'm going to be back. I'll be back one way or another, Jerry.
It's Friday at 4 a.m. at the New Bay Bridge Iron Yard. Superintendent Warren Moldovan has come in early to dust things up and plan his day. He's brought his son, 24-year-old apprentice Corey, along with him.
Oh, man. Getting up with my dad in the morning. Now that's an experience I wish on no one. He always wakes me up. My day consists of alarm going off at 2:35 in the morning, leave by 3, no later. He thinks it's funny, but it's not, it's torture.
Can't get up, you ain't doing nothing anyways.
By 5:30, the ironworkers start arriving. With 5 minutes to shift start at 6, there's one man missing. It's yard foreman Shane, Warren's second son on the job.
Hello, is Shane there?
Warren's son doesn't ever miss work.
You're not coming in, Shane? All right, this is a major important day for us out here. Why?
Even a Moldovan gets sick sometimes.
Oh, Jesus.
Warren has to improvise to fill Shane's crucial foreman slot. First up, he recruits Larry Lindstrom, who flies a desk most days.
You might have to work out here in the dock for a while because I gotta go to that meeting too, because Shane ain't gonna be here.
Next, he lights a fire under favorite whipping boy Rick Robles.
Get here 15 minutes earlier, you wouldn't have to drive off so fast.
Who else is there to help? Well, there's always the apprentice.
Come on, Corey, let's go. Get back there, you might have to help him.
While Warren scrambles to rebuild the day, out on the cofferdam, a separate breed of bridge worker arrives. These are the pile butt specialists, the welders. Crew boss Bob Harris starts the shift with a little chat about safety.
Grinding was an issue with your sparks and directional sparks, okay? You gotta have respect for your partner, shooting sparks.
Because the piles are too big to build in one piece, they're assembled in 2 sections. Where the sections meet, there's a gap. The welder's job is to fuse together the sections with hot molten steel. To do it, they'll work in a special work housing, the welding shelter. The daily commute leads 2 flights down into the cofferdam. Upstairs, it's a beautiful California day. Down here, it's a little corner of hell. For starters, heating strips warm up the welding band to 200 degrees to reduce stress on the pile. Next, add the heat of the robotic welding gun and a steady supply of liquid metal. Two guys work a weld, each on one side of the pipe. This team will blast away for 12 hours straight and then be relieved by the night crew. The welding will go on for 72 hours straight. That's for one weld. The bridge will need thousands. The welding guys are a special breed. Even more special is this crew guy, who's not a guy at all.
We have one woman welder, Edie Postel. She's a very, very good welder.
I get along with everybody out here real well. They're my boys. I don't let the girl come out in me very much. I don't show the emotional side out here. If there's something I can't do the way the men do it, then I'll find a way to do it.
Edie's a second-generation welder, and she's come to it after a long, hard struggle.
My father's a welder, my brothers are welders. I avoided it for many, many years, but then I avoided a lot of things. I am a recovering heroin addict. I've been clean 10 years. I went to prison 5 times. I was probably in 11 out of 13, more in than out. You know, I'd go in, do a term, come out, and stay out just long enough to get in trouble and go back. I learned to weld in a vocational welding class in prison. I'm probably one of the very few that ever get clean and stay clean and use the tools that the prisons do offer you. Fortunately, my mother and father have always stood behind me. My father, you know, if we run into somebody that I don't know and he knows, he'll say, oh, this is my daughter, the welder, and she's working on the Bay Bridge. I mean, he just lights up like a candle.
The welders will be at it for days. Meanwhile, back in the sunshine, Warren Moldovin's got to leave the job site for a big meeting with all the supers on the bridge. And without Son Shane to direct the hoisting of the massive round columns, he's feeling a little on edge.
Just tuck the eye in there. Tuck your eye in there. Tuck your eye underneath. The other way. Just show him, Eric. Just the top of it first. Put the top through first. Without Shane here, he does most of the rigging. Yeah. So we have to use different guys, so we got to watch. They don't rig every day.
It takes an agonizing 10 minutes to lift the column upright.
Don't go underneath it because we don't know if there might be something inside that, right? So don't get under the end of it. Let it get all vertical, right? All right.
The job's still not done. The column has to be prepped to hook onto the wall already set up. And Corey's in hot water with his dad.
Corey, go grab your tools. Get your tools on. They're in his truck. I told you to leave them here.
He left his tools in his brother's truck last night. Who thought he'd be sick?
Leave your tools here.
That's it. Time to go.
Okay, I'm out of here.
With one final clear instruction for the crew.
Make sure this happens.
Apprentice Corey can't climb yet, but he helps out on the ground. Even figuring out on his own how to pry loose a stuck rigging bar. A victory for the apprentice.
Corey.
even without Warren or Shane, the work gets done.
Marco! After that, let's go down.
By the end of day Friday, the columns are up and in place. Time to hit the beach. It's a relaxing weekend at Pismo down near LA. Moldovan style.
It's a big relief to me to come down here because I'm under such pressure on the job. It's therapeutic for me, and I think it is for my kids too, to get away from the everyday, my dad is the boss. Oh, she is dead nuts. That's right on.
Ready to rock and roll?
Ready to go.
Time to tear it up before the weekend ends, and the Moldovans head back to the bridge. Get all the rest you can, guys, because it's back to work on Monday. It's a big day on the New Bay Bridge. It took Warren Moldovan's ironworkers 2 months of hand tying, rigging, climbing, lifting, and lashing to set up this cage on a floating barge next to their workyard. Somebody's got to move the massive 260-ton cage from where it sits to where it needs to be. Set on top of the support piles driven 300 feet into the bay, the pier cage will set a solid base for the roadway above. It'll be filled out with concrete and 2 more stories of lighter rebar cages before the road is added. But this first-level rebar cage will hold the most weight of any single unit on the bridge. Before the lift, the pile butts make last-minute adjustments to the chandelier, the widespread net of rigging 72 feet up, connecting the pier cage to the crane arm. Everybody's in place, and the general starts the big lift. The trick here is to clear the template staircase the rebar tower was built around.
Hey, Tim, give me just a little tiny bit of boom down. Little tiny freckle here.
It's only 30 feet up, but the slightest bump will cause big problems.
Nice and easy, about 3 feet away. Okay, you're all good now.
Got it.
Done now, this is the easy part.
Gordy and the crew head to the landing site and watch Tim swing the pier cage across the sky and down into position gracefully.
That's good, that's good. Okay, coming down. I'll stop. All right, Tim, give me just a bump.
The pier cage bottom is now 20 feet deep into the footing box. Once it's filled out with concrete, it will stand strong and straight.
Nice and easy, coming down, stay touched.
But for now, to keep the giant cage from a catastrophic tilt and crash against the sides of the footing box, the pile butt team has improvised a set of clamps, just like a Christmas tree stand, to hold it in place. Where the clamps meet the rebar frame, simple squares of plywood provide a smooth surface for the clamps to hold onto. But there's a problem.
Or maybe a foot off, so we gotta wire this plywood up like this. So when I come down, it just slides right on that.
I heard something, Nate, did you grab nails?
With the tide coming in, the General, all 4,000 tons of her, bobs from side to side and up and down in the water. Every time the clamps get close, the tide shifts, and the plywood falls out of line. It's frustrating.
Okay, you gotta move the plywood up. You're in charge.
It's at this exact moment that Gordy's boss, Dave Nielsen, shows up. Dave always seems to get Gordy amped up. Last time he was around, Gordy blew a gasket.
I got Dave in my deep right now.
Dave doesn't like the look of the plywood, and Gordy loses it.
What's your plywood for?
Because rebar hang up on every one of those things. This ain't my whole design. I mean, you gotta have a piece of plywood. The tide comes in and everything goes up. We did. We started in the right spot. The plywood slides out. You ready? I could put a 14-foot stick of plywood right here and I wouldn't have a problem with it. We're close. We're close.
Dave Nielsen exhibits the best of boss behavior. He gets out of the way and lets the crew he trusts finish the job.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're gonna guy wires. We're gonna check this out, see what we gotta do. Tide's coming in, so just keep an eye on it so don't let it begin, huh?
Finally, 3 hours after they began, Gordy and the crew have the pier cage locked into the brackets. Another one down, 17 more to go. And Tim Lassiter steers the General towards the next skirmish. For the next 6 years, the grueling and dangerous work will continue. The rod busters, the pile butts, the welders, and the rest of the men and women on the job will keep at it. For the money, for the pride, and for the knowledge that a piece of history flows through their hands. In all the ways that matter, the new Bay Bridge belongs to them.
It's like, you know, a brotherhood is what it is. So it takes a certain kind of individual to be an iron worker, to do some amazing things. We put the world together, one bar at a time. I love every minute of it.
You know, every day when I get in my car to come here, I feel thankful. I walk down that trestle and get on a boat with big pride. It's just great.
Warren Moldovan has another year and a half on this job. After that, his sons Shane and Corey can't see Warren in a rocking chair.
That man will never retire. I'll have 3 kids who'll still be an iron worker.
He's not worried about the money. He's worried about what he does, his name. That's why I want my name.
Oh, I love doing this work. And it fascinates me to see things that you would think are impossible. And to be part of that is so fascinating in my mind that I wouldn't give this up for anything. I won't go home until the last dog dies. The last piece of rebar is placed.